Now, today's lesson, we're going to learn about verbs, and something that makes English particularly difficult is the use of tenses. Now, my wife's not an English speaker. My wife is actually from China, and she has a real problem with tenses. Because for many other languages, they don't have tenses. But for English, you have 5 tenses. So it makes it very hard to explain what you want to say. Okay, there is the past tense, there's the present tense, and there's the future tense. And on top of these 3 main tenses, you have the past perfect, you have the past perfect continuous, you have the present perfect continuous, so on and so forth. Okay, so there's so many tenses in the English language. When do I use what at which time? And that's the problem that even some English teachers have as well. So today we're going to go through really slowly a very difficult topic, tenses. I hope you pay attention because it's going to be hard. The questions are going to be easy, but understanding it's going to be quite hard. Okay, so let's look at this first. Tenses involve the use of verbs to indicate time. So nouns cannot indicate time. You cannot say, oh, today I Louis, yesterday I Louis. You can't. Right? You can't use nouns to indicate time. You cannot use adjective either. Oh, it's blue today, it was blued yesterday. No, you can't. Or cerulean yesterday, you can't. Right? You can only use verb to indicate time. Okay. So when you look at the tense of a word, if there's an ed, okay, or if it's written in past tense, you know it happened in the past. If it ends with an s, okay, or it doesn't have a, if it's in present tense, you know it's happened right now. So the verb, when the action occurs, tells you the tense. So look at this, right? I studied for all the topics for the test yesterday. Now, take away this comma, shouldn't be there. I studied for all the topics for the test yesterday. Now, even if I covered the word yesterday, you would know that because of the word studied, this action happened in the past. When I add the word yesterday, I definitely have to use the past tense. Okay, I cannot say I study all the topics for the test yesterday. It doesn't work because when there is an indicator of when it happens, the verb has to be in the past tense. Okay, now next one. I study in my bedroom. Now, even if you don't have the word every day, if you wrote it this way, I study in my bedroom, it can be in the present tense or it can be a general truth, something that you do all the time. Okay, so if there's an action that you are consistently doing or you are doing all the time, right, with the word every day, you use the present tense study. Now, I is a special word in the English language. I, even though it's referring to just one person, okay, you have to use the plural form of the word. Okay, I'm not going to go into plural or singular right now, but plural or singular affects only the present tense, right? If your subject is plural or singular, it only affects the present tense. It's a very annoying thing about English, right? That you have to care whether your subject is plural, whether it's singular, whether it's present, whether it's past. If it's past, the present tense, whether it's past, plural or singular doesn't matter. But when it's present, plural or singular matters a lot because there is this S or no S thing, right? So should you say I study or I studies, right? Very important, plural or singular. But if it's in past tense, you don't need to worry. That's why we tell students to write their compositions in past tense. You can write your compositions in school in present tense, no problem. But it's very difficult because you consistently have to pay attention to whether there's an S or there's no S. So we make things easy for everyone. Don't go and challenge yourself. Make things easy for yourself and just write everything that you write in stories in past tense. Then you will never have this problem of whether you need to put S or no S. Okay, next one. Tenses. Next, usually due to the form of the verb, we can tell whether an incident happens now or in the past. Okay, but what if it happens in the future? Ooh. Okay, then we will add this word here, will. Just the word will turns it into a future tense. Natalie again. Okay, now if you use the word would, right? Would is not future tense. Be very aware of this. Would is actually a possibility, right? I would go to America right now if there wasn't COVID-19. Okay, that's a possibility, but it's not a future tense. But if I say, I will go to America tomorrow, it means that that will definitely come true. So will, like we learned the if conditionals for those of you who are B6 who are here, right? If you use the word will, it most likely will happen, but would, not so likely. So will is future tense, but would is not future tense. So when you see would, it's actually a past tense. Will, future tense. I can still go now to America. Yeah, now I can go to America actually. There are actually very few countries that we can't go to if you're vaccinated. Some of you had your first jab a couple of days ago or somewhere in this week. Congratulations. Yeah. If any of you have had COVID before and you've recovered, then you don't need to take your jab. Yeah. But if none of you have COVID, any of you have COVID, you can tell me I had. Okay, let me know. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so there's this poem that we wrote for you to learn about tenses. Okay, poetry in my best poem voice. Almost every day I learn my English, and it is not as easy as it seems. My brain really cannot finish, and now verbs are coming up in my dream. Okay, so all the verbs, right, we have highlighted. I learn, present tense. It seems, present tense. Okay, so you notice present tense, right? Sometimes there's no S, sometimes there's an S, sometimes there's no S. Present continuous tense. Okay, this word continuous is what you need to pay attention to. Okay, the word continuous influences the use of the ing. Okay, yeah, there will be classmates, there will be bubble questions. There are like 14 or 13 bubble questions. Okay, so coming up in my dreams. Now verbs are coming up in my dream. So how do you turn it into the continuous tense? Present continuous, you use the word are. Are is present, coming, continuous. Okay, are, present, coming, continuous. Okay, so those of you who have been to this class before, I know I may be repeating some things, but there are people who are attending this class for the first time. So please bear with us as I go through the topic with them. They want to learn as well. Okay, next part of the poem, I was learning the past progressive, such a headache, but it didn't last. And I turned aggressive, for up jumped the simple past. Okay, I was learning. Okay, so progressive here, learning, but this time it's different. Past progressive. So previously you see the present continuous, right? Are coming. Past progressive, I was learning. Past progressive tense or the past continuous tense, but it did last. I turned, past simple, and jumped, past simple. Okay, ed, past simple. Simple, right? Now, past perfect tense is a little bit difficult. Okay, let's talk about past perfect tense. Now, I read the second part of the poem. I had expected to be a little faster. The past perfect I had wanted to get. I would have been a real master if the conditional had not made me upset. Okay, so past perfect tense, you just need to know one thing. One word turns a verb to past perfect. And this verb is super important. The verb is the word had. Okay. When you see the word had, right, and a ed or a past tense word, right, I had wanted, I had expected, I had not made. When there's the word had plus the past participle of the word, it's the past perfect tense. So when you see the word had and there's no ing in the next word, it's a past perfect tense. Okay. Except for this, I would have been. Would have been, right, is a present perfect tense because have, present, been, perfect. Okay, don't worry about this. We're not going to test you this present perfect tense yet. And the last part of the poem, the present perfect tense, the present perfect I hadn't respected, though you can believe me how I've tried. The progressive I have been attempting To the rules, I have myself tied. Okay, so this poem here uses 3 tenses: had not respected. So this had, remember, had, present, past perfect tense. Present perfect, I have. Present perfect tense, have tried. Had tried is past perfect. Present perfect, have tried. Now the progressive tense had been attempting. Okay, progressive tense is the same as the present perfect continuous tense. I have been, have is present, been makes it perfect, continuous, attempting. I have myself tied. This one is the past perfect tense. Okay, so future tense, I'll cut this short. It's quite easy. Won't is the opposite of will not. Okay, so will not, will is future tense. I am going. Now the word going to, it may be a continuous tense. Okay, but if it's used in this scenario, it is a future tense. Okay, going can be continuous. Oh, he is going to the market now. It can be continuous. But in this case here, going to make an effort is not something he's doing right now. Okay, it's something that will happen in the future. So going to is a special word. When you see the word going to, it's not continuous tense. Listen carefully. It's future tense. Okay, and it will perhaps make some kind of sense. Okay. So I'm going to skip this one. We have done this before. Okay, so let's do question 1. Let's test your understanding of present tense and the 4 different aspects. So Johnny is exhausted these days. For the last 2 years, Johnny what consistently for next week's tournament? Okay, question 1 in 3, 2, 1. Okay, you have 30 seconds to answer, so let's answer fast. Okay, for the last 2 years, this action of training happened in the past. Okay, this action of training happened in the past. It carries on all the way to the present. And it will end sometime in the near future, right? In the near future. Okay, so it happened in the past, last 2 years, 2 years ago. It's happening right now to the present, and it will carry on to the near future. Okay, so if something happens like this and it's about to end soon, it's about to end soon, right? I have to use the present perfect tense. Okay, the present perfect tense here is the word had trained. Okay, so he's training now. Sorry, not had trained, my bad. Okay, he's training now. Okay, he trained in the past, he's training now, he will train in the future. So you have to use the present perfect continuous, right? It is still carrying on, it's still going on. So the answer is number 4. Okay, it answers number 4. Okay, I will tell that person to give more, but it depends on him or her. Okay, so present perfect continuous. It happened in the past, it's happening now, it will end sometime in the future. Look at how long this line is. If the line is really long, if the line is really long, very good clue, you use the ing form. Okay, think about it. If the line is really long, you use the ing form. Okay, next. Every day, Sandra what 7 glasses of water so she will not feel dehydrated? Answer number 2 in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if the action is very fast, drink, finish. If its action is very fast, we don't use the ing form. Okay, if it happens every day, we don't use the past tense. So this has the ing, wrong. This has the present perfect tense, wrong. This has the ing, also wrong. So we just use the very simple present tense. Simple? Okay, present simple, I drink. Sandra drinks 7 glasses of water. Okay, so we use the present simple. I didn't set the question. I didn't set the bubble. Someone else did. I am just the messenger. Okay, but we will be fast. Okay, we'll do this fast. There will be certain questions where I will award you 20 bubbles. 20 bubbles. Okay, I will award you 20 bubbles if you answer them correctly. There will be 20 bubble questions. Not yet. Okay, next one. What at the airport already? Let's ask question number 3, 30 seconds in now. 30 seconds. What at the airport already? So the answer for bubble question number 3, no, already means that this person who's speaking thinks that the action has occurred and has already ended. Okay. So to arrive at a place, right, it should be very fast, right? When you arrive, you arrive. It's only a very short duration, right? It's not going to be something that you will drag out for very long. So if it is a very short thing to arrive, a very short action, the ing cannot be correct. Now, already means that when you use the word already, you expect the action to be done, be finished. So will they arrive is wrong. Will they arrive will happen in the future. Will they arrive? You don't use the word already. Okay, so the only correct answer is number 3. Have they arrived at the airport already? They, plural, have they arrived, because the action is very fast. Okay, so that's the answer for question number 3. Okay, I won't spend too much time with this. Everybody got this correct. Number 4. Okay, 30 seconds for question number 4 in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Pretty good. 19 of you didn't answer, but the same number of you got it correct. Now tells us that this action is present. Okay, but should I use the present tense, present continuous, or this one, present perfect? Definitely wrong. Okay, have been playing wrong. Okay, so you only have 1 and 2 to choose from. If the word now was changed to every day, right, it would be number 1, but it is not every day, so number 1 is wrong. Why is it number 2? Think about the action that's happening right now. Okay, playing football, this action would stretch out for a period of time. Playing football. Okay, so we are focusing on this action of playing football over a long period of time. Okay, playing football happens over a longer period of time. So we want to use the ing word to answer. Okay, and John and Jack are plural, so they are playing football in the park now. Okay, the action will occur for a period of time before they end. Okay, it's not a very short action, it's a stretched out action. Do you think she switch schools next year? Bubble question number 5 in 3, 2, 1. So if it's happening in the future, remember what I taught you, future tense are going to. So we keep it very simple. Next year, something that happens in the future. Do you think she is going to switch schools next year? Next year happens in the future. Has gone would already have happened. Has been going would already have happened and will continue in the future. So no. Go is a general present simple, right? But next year is future tense. So go is wrong. Now, very simple, this question. Next, simple past tense. Now, we always know simple past tense with the use of the word ed. Now, there'll be the easy ones coming up, okay, with the word ed. But sometimes we have things called irregular verbs. Okay, irregular verbs are words like this. Now, write, the past tense is not righted, it's wrote. Drive, the past tense is not drived, it's drove. Read, the past tense is not readed, it's read. And worst of all, it's spelled the exact same way, but it's pronounced wrongly. English does this to people. There are more bubble questions, don't worry, there are plenty of bubbles to go around today. Okay, so I wrote a composition yesterday. All these are in past tense, right? They happen in the past, but the important thing to know is that the action is completed in the past, right? And these facts are no longer true. Okay, so they happened in the past, they ended in the past, they're no longer this way anymore. Okay, so this is the simple past tense. Now, past continuous here is used for, very important, continuing action. He was knocking. So yesterday, right, the process of knocking, at that time, it was continuing. He didn't just knock, right? It didn't just knock. It was a knock and it was for an extended period of time. He was knocking on the door repeatedly yesterday. They were celebrating his birthday last week. So the actions have to occur. They have to stretch out over a long period of time. Okay, it can be used to describe what was happening at that very moment. Okay, so the past continuous tense uses the word was or were plus the verb and ing. So this action occurs for a long time. Right, next one. They had eaten dinner up to the point. where the cake arrived. So, or she had gone to school every day until that fateful day. The past perfect tense is a special tense, right? Because it wants to show or it wants to emphasize on an action ending. Okay, the past perfect tense emphasizes on an action that has ended. It's emphasizing on the finishing of the action, not how long the action takes place, but when it finishes. Okay, so it is used to show, right, the completion of something up to a certain point in the past, or to show the order of two past events. Okay, and past perfect, like I mentioned earlier, uses the word had very often. Okay, uses the word had. Now, past participles here is what's tricky. Okay, copy. Okay, fine. Sophia, yeah, copy. Go ahead. I give you 10 seconds to copy. I was talking about this earlier. Now, past perfect tense is, or the past participle is very difficult, right? Like the word throw. Now, the past tense of the word throw is threw. Okay. But the past participle is another word altogether. It's thrown. The word written from the present tense, write, the past tense is wrote, but the past participle is written. Fly, present tense, past tense flew, past participle flown. Regular exercise does play a part, but I think, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, I may be wrong, but doctors or at least scientists think that your genes play a bigger part in exercise. Exercise does help you to a certain extent, but in the end, really it's your genes. Because I think my family members have very powerful genes. They didn't get sick for more than a day. Yeah, drink, drunk. Okay, yeah, drink, drunk. Yes, Alyssa, drink, drunk. All right, now the past tense here had been eating. This is the past continuous tense, okay? Now, remember I mentioned earlier when there's an ing, okay? It wants to emphasize on something happening for a duration or a period of time, okay? The past perfect tense had been waiting, had been eating. This action occurred for quite a duration, okay? And this was the cause of something that happened in the past. Okay, so generally the form of this tense looks like this. Had must be there, had for all past perfect. Been, okay, been is the special word. Been is the special word. Okay, plus the verb with an ing. Okay, I had been eating until my brother came to my house. Okay, or I had been well until I got struck with COVID-19. So it was happening. I was well for a really long time. Then COVID-19 happened. Okay, so to emphasize on how long this action occurs for, had been okay, for how long the action occurs. Right. I'm gonna move on. Okay, question number 6. When I left home, I warned my mom of my whereabouts. Question number 6 coming to you in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Quite a few of you answered number 1. Which is strange because number 1 is what tense? Number 1 is present. But left, boys and girls, is the past tense. So you can't use one past and one present, right? You already have one past tense. So number 1 is definitely wrong. Okay. You don't need to inform your mom for a long time, right? You just inform and then that's it. Okay, so number 3 is wrong. And number 4, I had been informing as well. How long do you need to say, hey, mom, do you know where I'm going to go today? Let me guess. No, mom doesn't do that. You just say, mom, I'll be at Orchard Road today. That's it. Right? You don't need to tell a story. Okay, so the answer is number 2. I had informed. The action is fast. Boom, past perfect tense. Okay, so congratulations to the 70% of you who got this right. Next. Now, there's some of you who like double lesson, like you're attending 2 lessons at once. Please don't do that. It's crazy. Don't do that. Okay, just attend 1 lesson. That's right. Okay, number 7. Last year, James what to clean his room every day. Ooh, tricky. Let's see. Okay, 30 seconds. Start now. Those of you who got this wrong may have been confused by the word every day, right? And you see the word every day, you think that you should use the present tense beside. But that would be wrong, right? Because this clean the room is what happens every day. But he doesn't have to decide every day. He decided when? He decided in the past, last year. Okay, so he decided in the past. Number one is definitely wrong. Do you need to decide for a really long time? When you decide, it's like, okay, I decide I will exercise or I will clean my room. So if you use number 4 or number 3 to show that the deciding takes a really long time, you're wrong. Okay, deciding is very fast. You decide and then that's it. Clear? Uh-huh. All right. So just for you to see my KFC ad, right? The was the best moment for it. They watched the football game as a family last weekend. Okay, so pay attention to the action that's happening in this question. Pay attention to action. 30 seconds, start now, start now. Pay attention to the action. Is it a short action or is it a long action? Now, I'm going to explain to you why number 3 is not correct. When you watch a football game, right? I mean, have you watched football before? Maybe some of you haven't. The football game lasts for a really long time. It doesn't just go bam, finish. Hey, let's watch a go bam. Okay, then we stop. No, it doesn't work that way. When you watch a football game, you have to sit there and watch for 90 minutes or more. Yeah, I've watched many football games in my life. I've lost many, many hours to football. I will never get those hours back, some of them, especially if they are boring. But football games take a really long time. So you cannot use number 3, right? You cannot use number 1 because was is wrong, they is plural. Had been watching, you are tossed up between these two, were watching and had been watching. Now, had been watching, right, is used to show at that period in time, at that time, they had been watching, okay? Last weekend on, before the bell rang, they had been watching the football game. That's fine. But because there's no other event, this is the only event that's happening. Okay, it's the only event. You don't need to use had been watching. You can use had been watching when 2 events are happening at the same time. And at the other event, when that was happening, this event was happening as well. Then you can use had been watching. But if it's only one event, use number 2. When my dad parked the car, we bought the ticket already. Question number 9 in 3, 2, 1. Come, 30 seconds. Start now. Okay, so let's look. Not too bad. Much better answer this one. So collecting the ticket is very fast, right? Some of you chose number 4. 14 of you chose number 3, sorry. Ticket collection is very fast. You collect and then you go. You don't need to collect and chit chat with the guy. So number 2 is correct, right? We had collected the ticket already, right? At that time, when dad's parking the car, we had collected the ticket. Okay, so just think about the action here. The action is fast. We use the past perfect. The action takes long. We use past continuous. Number 10. Wait, hold on. Last one. Future tense. Tomorrow. Modal verbs. Modals are tricky because different modals mean different things. Okay. Many students will ask me this question. Like when I was teaching in school, they will say, "Che, can I go toilet?" That is grammatically wrong to ask your teacher whether you can go toilet, because the word can, right, means do I have the ability? Can I go toilet? Yeah, you have the ability to go to the toilet, right? You're not crippled or you are not a slug, right? You don't slide on the ground. You can go to the toilet if you want. You have your legs, right? You can walk, or you have a wheelchair. You can go to the toilet, right? If you're asking for permission, you use may. Right? Very good, right? Teachers must say, yeah, may I go to the toilet? It's for permission. If you say, might I go to the toilet? You are considering something. Nobody says that, but might I go to the toilet? You are thinking about something. You're thinking about a possibility. Could suggest also that you are considering a certain possibility. I shall go to the toilet. It's like you're making a command. Okay? I should go to the toilet means that when you say I should go to the toilet, right? It means that the right thing to do is to go to the toilet. But you want to do something else. Then you use the word should. Okay, I will go to the toilet means that there's a very high chance that you go. I would go to the toilet means that there's a very low chance of you going. Can you believe that? I will means that there's a very high chance. I would go to the toilet, but there's class right now. Okay, so would means that there's a low chance. So it's very interesting, right? All these models have their own kind of meaning. I will go to the toilet, high chance. I would go to the toilet, but low chance. I may go to the toilet. Oh, may I go to the toilet? Permission. I might, thinking about it. I can. I have the ability to go to the toilet. I could, thinking about it. I shall. Command. I shall. Okay, I should. I should, but I don't want to. Okay, so don't go to the toilet because we're going to ask questions right now. Number 10. Tomorrow, my family and I visiting my grandmother in Yishun. Number 10 in 3, 2, 1. Let's go, let's go. Okay. Now, many of you chose are visiting. Quite a few of you chose are visiting. I'm going to explain to you why. Are visiting, right, is the present continuous, right? We are visiting my grandmother right now. Right now, we are visiting my grandmother. Later, we'll be doing something else. But because of the word tomorrow, we have to avoid the present continuous, because present continuous tense means it's happening now, it's still happening. But tomorrow, you use the future tense, we. So those of you who chose number 2, right, close, but because of this word, you're wrong. So apologies to the, not apologies, my condolences to the 30 of you who got it wrong, right? You may have missed out on that word. So when you see these words, right, they are your huge, huge clues. Number 11 in 3, 2. Did I say number? Whoops. Sorry, my brain should be number 4. Yikes. Right, I will be visiting my grandmother in Yishun. Good. Nice. Nice. Okay. Next, number 11. We want a match against our opponents next week. There's still 20 of you didn't answer. Maybe on Zoom, I don't know. Easy, we will be playing. I'm not going to talk too much about this. Next week is in the future. Okay. Next, number 12. Number 12 in 3, 2, 1. Question number 12. We want to attend a new school soon. Okay. I explained this really quickly because it's not very well done. In fact, 60 of you got it wrong. No, more than 60. Wow, many of you got this wrong actually. Wow, the worst question so far, and I'm going to explain to you why. Twitch is not working. Oh dear. Okay, maybe you get out from Twitch and come to the other channel. Many of you chose number 1. We have planned to attend a new school soon. The word soon, right, tells us that this action hasn't happened yet. So the action of planning has not yet happened because it will happen soon. Have planned means that it's already happened, but it cannot be because it says soon. So the planning hasn't happened yet. Number 1 is wrong. Had planned is even worse because it means that the plan happened in the past, but it's supposed to happen soon. So you cannot use number 2. You can say we are planning to attend a new school soon. That's fine, but not quite correct. Okay. So the answer should be number 4. We plan to attend a new school soon. Right? If you don't have the future tense, you just use the present tense, which is plan. We plan to attend a new school soon. Okay, question 13. Let's go 3, 2, 1. So those of you who listen about my toilet models and got it, congratulations. Very happy for yourself and myself. I have yet to make a decision. So I'm not sure. Now I will, right? Means that there is a very high chance that I will stay home today. But I have yet to make a decision. So it can't be will, right? I don't know for sure. Can I stay home today? I have the ability to, but I'm not asking whether you have the ability to. I shall stay home today. If you say I shall stay home today, you have already made the decision. Now, may means that you are thinking about the decision. There is a 50-50% probability that you will stay home. Yeah, may and might quite similar actually. I might stay home. I may stay home. May is the present tense of might actually, but you don't need to go there. Let's not go there. I will spend forever explaining it to you. Okay, so the answer is number 4. I may stay home. 50-50% chance. Will means very high chance. Can means ability. Shall means definitely I will. But may means nah, not sure. If I am not mistaken, again, unsure. If I'm not mistaken, I'm unsure. We what home in time for lunch? So I'm gonna ask this question right now in 3, 2, 1. Last question. Let's go. If I'm not mistaken, so I'm not completely sure. So there's a possibility, not a high possibility, I mind you. So we know automatically 2 options are out. Possibility not that high. There is a possibility, but not sure, not 100% sure. Oh, good, better. Now, there's still 27 of you choosing 1 and 2. Now, if you chose 3, right, forgivable because seems like a possibility. Now, would be, again, like I said, would be is usually for like really low possibility. Will be means very high possibility. Shall be, definitely. But if I'm not mistaken, right, this part here means like a 50-50. Not sure, but most likely. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, it's like most likely. Most likely we should be home in time for lunch, right? There's a high chance. There's a good chance. Not really high, but a good chance. Okay. So number 1 and 2, right? I mentioned cannot. Number 3, possible, but why not? Because I am is present tense. So would past tense cannot. There you go. Right. We learned that verbs tell us when things happen. Oops, sweaty pits. Most tenses and their aspects occur in present or past. To write about the future, you can use a number of words. Today we go through the modal. So every time you look at a modal, right, think about my toilet example. Toilet example. Best example ever.